Hello everyone, this is what we're making today. It's a pineapple cream cheese with coconut topped graham wafer crust pie. And there's a layer of our secret ingredient right here. And we're going to see that in the video today. If you want to make this, keep watching. Today we're going to make a very easy no-bake cheesecake. But the big difference is we're not going to use a cherry topping today. Today we're going to mix in some pineapple into the cream cheese. And I'll show you that later. We're also not going to use lemon because the pineapple will add some of the tartness. For the crust, we're going to use an 8-inch or 20 centimeter springform pan, so it's easier to cut later. For the crust, we're going to use 1.5 cups of graham cracker crumbs. We can crush your own, or we can buy pre-crushed crumbs, or even buy a pre-made shell, but I don't recommend that because of the preservative and other ingredients, sugar and so on. We want to have more control over that. We're going to use 1/3 cup melted and unsalted butter, not salted butter. We're going to use about 500 grams, about 1 pound of cream cheese, perhaps a little bit less, and 1.5 cups of cream. Now this is a low-calorie version, but it's full fat. I don't know how they do it, but it's 45% fat in here. Use a full version. Don't use a low-fat version. It will not taste as good. We're going to have 1/4 cup of demerara sugar. We're going to have about 1/2 cup of confectioner's sugar or powdered sugar to whip into the cream cheese here. We're going to have 3/4 cup of desiccated coconut here, or the dried coconut for the topping. We're going to pan fry that or roast it in the pan. We're going to use a rum extract here. It's not going to taste like a pina colada or anything, but we're going to use rum instead of vanilla. Also here, we're going to use something. This is the secret ingredient. We're going to spread this coconut jam. It's called kaya. You can find it in a Malaysian, Singaporean, or Indonesian, perhaps even in a Philippine food store. It's quite cheap. It's only about $2 or so. But we're going to spread a very thin layer between the crust and the cream cheese topping. This is a lot of calories, so we want to reduce the other sugar that we put in. So let's melt the butter and we will start making the crust. Okay, so here we have our 1.5 cup of graham wafer crumbs here, and we're going to add the 1/4 cup of demerara brown sugar here. And here we have about 1/2 cup of melted butter, but we only want about 1/3. But because of the hydration here and the moisture, we just want to make sure that the graham crumbs here are enough to be packed. So we have to adjust the butter as necessary. Okay, and it's not quite ready. I think we got to add a little bit more here. Okay, it's better to have more than not enough. Oh, that smells great. Wow. Okay, and yeah, we're gonna add a full 1/2 cup here. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna pack it in here now. I'm going to put it in the springform pan here. This is a non-stick one. If you don't have a non-stick pan, then you're going to have to oil or butter the pan. Okay, and we're not going to fold it up on the edge. We're just going to keep it all flat on the bottom. We're not going to put it up on the sides here. Okay, and we're going to pack it down. Now after you've finished packing it down, and it should be fairly tight, we don't want it too loose, we're going to put it in the fridge to set. I mean, we're not using eggs or anything, so we don't need to bake this. If you want to bake it and have a kind of a cooked flavor, you can do that as well. Nothing wrong with that. But we're just going to pack it down here nicely. You can use a spoon or any other utensil to make it flat, even if you have some kind of flat plate or something. And after we put it in the fridge, it's going to set. We're going to work on the topping while this is setting. Okay, now we're going to beat the cream cheese here with an electric mixer, and this has to be room temperature. It's not going to be easy if you have a small mixer. We're also going to add the confectioner's sugar here, and we're also going to add the tablespoon of rum extract. We're not using vanilla extract, but we want to just add a more tropical flavor to this recipe. So we put that in, and we're going to start mixing very slowly. Okay, so now you can see that we've whipped up the cream cheese here, and now we're going to add the pineapple here, and it's generally been drained. Okay, all right, and we're just going to add it there. We're going to keep mixing, and we're going to mix the pineapple into the cream cheese. Alright, we can see that the pineapple chunks have been broken into smaller pieces, and there are different sizes of pieces, which is going to just add a more interesting flavor with each bite that you have. And now we're going to work on the whipped cream. Okay, now most recipes will call for about a pint of the milk, the cream here, but we're only going to use, again, a cup to a cup and a half of this cream. Fresh cream here, and we're going to use a mixer here. You can use a hand whisk if you want, but we're going to mix it until it forms peaks. And we'll just show you just in a minute. Here. Okay, so now you can see that we have finished mixing here, and you can see that the whipped cream, there are peaks in here in the whipped cream, so it's rather stiff. And now we're going to fold it into the cream cheese mix. Okay, here we have the pineapple and cream cheese mixture here, and the whipped cream over here. Now we used less whipped cream than usual because we have the pineapple already in here, so there's going to be a lot of moisture, and we want it to be able to set properly and be nice and hard. So we've reduced the amount of cream. Now we're going to add it with the spatula here, and we're going to start mixing it in little by little. We're not going to mix everything at the same time. We're just going to stir it in a little bit at a time. Okay? Okay, and it looks just about ready now. And now we can bring out our crust. Okay, so here's our crust now, and you can see it's pretty hard now and packed. And I just want to show you the kaya that's here. Okay, this is coconut jam. It also has duck eggs in it. If it's the real one, it's going to have duck eggs as well. And we're just going to take it. You see how soft it is? But it will harden when it goes in the fridge for cooling, okay? And we're just going to spread the whole pie crust here with the kaya, okay, with the coconut jam. Okay, so let's watch this. Okay, and you can just see that we've just spread it over top of the crust here, okay, and we don't want it to get too dry. Okay, there we go. And it's about 1 centimeter thick, and we used about a cup and a half to 2 cups of the kaya, okay. And the next step is we're going to put in the cream cheese mixture with pineapple and whipped cream. I'm going to take the mixture here and just put everything on top here. It's going to be nice and thick layer on top of this. So you can see how thick this is going to be. That's why we needed the thick layer of crust as well. Okay. Alright. Just leave it like that for now. Okay, and we're just about finished here. Okay, just spreading it out there. Okay. Now we're not done yet. We have to roast the coconut on top and sprinkle it on top. So we have one more step before we put it in the fridge for cooling. So we've put the coconut here, and it's on fairly high heat, and you can see it's starting to brown. It'll brown fairly quickly. Okay, it's a nice smell. Okay, but you don't want to burn it. You just want it a little bit roasted in color. And it doesn't matter if some of them stay white. Okay, so just move it around here so it doesn't burn, but it is getting hot. You can see there. Some of them are fairly dark and some are still white. And this is just going to be sprinkled on top before we put it in the refrigerator. Okay, so now we're going to take our roasted coconut here and we're just going to add it to the top here and just add it as an accent to the top here, just to give it some color variation and add some dimension and depth to the flavor of the overall cheesecake. Okay, we're just sprinkle it over here and just put it in the refrigerator. We're going to put saran wrap on the top. Okay, and that should be enough. And we're going to put saran wrap on the top and put it in the refrigerator. And do not freeze this or it's not going to taste good. You cannot rush this. It will take 2 to 3 hours, possibly up to 5 hours, depending on where you live and how cold your refrigerator is. And then we'll take it out and take a look at it this afternoon. Okay, well, this is the moment. It's been in the fridge all day, and we're going to take off the springform pan to see how it looks like. Okay, let's turn it around. Okay, it's going to open up now a little bit. Let's see how it looks. Voila. Well, here's our pineapple cream cheese no-bake cheesecake with a roasted coconut topping. And our secret ingredient, kaya, coconut jam in between. Well, it's time to eat it. See you next time.